So for full disclosure, this is not a paid endorsement video. AWA Games have not paid me to put this product over, and hopefully therefore I'm in no way a
garbage tier shill fuck.
But they did pay me to put my back into making a video, and I think I might have put my back into it. I think I'm actually gonna put my fucking back out, to be fair. So why am I talking about War on Terror, and why should you care? One of those questions I can definitely answer today. But which one? Well, it's a grounded sci-fi universe which is appealing to me more and more as I pick up stuff like Stargrave and I start to take an interest in war games that are a little less overkill. And it falls into my what-if sci-fi subgenre that I adore so much. Primarily because the premise is so simple, you can communicate it to an outsider with a simple one sentence of what if. Like Alien 3 is probably my favourite sci-fi film, and that can be communicated with what if an alien got loose in a prison that's all dudes and Ripley's Jesus now. There's some commas in there, but that is one sentence. And War on Terror for me falls into that category where I can just say to a friend who's, got some board game experience, or like John Chumpchange who likes his Star Wars Legion, I can say to him, yo, do you want to come and play this? Say what it is in a sentence, and he's decided if he's interested or not. And War on Terror's what if would pretty much be, what if we went into space and met some aliens, and the aliens had zero chill? Done. Let's play. Alex and Will sent me this 2-player starter set over to do something with. They said absolutely no pressure, do whatever you want with it. But unboxing things aren't really my style, because that's just too simple and not convoluted enough. So I painted and based essentially 2 armies in 2 days. And I also did something else. I was fortunate enough to meet the guys from AWA, Alex and Will, at ChillCon this year, where they brought the big gauge with them. They brought a huge gaming table and absolutely took home the award for best demo game at the con. Also where I did an epic trade up with Little Bear from Brown Bear Wargaming, and an hour later also told someone to fuck off. So I think I left ChillCon with even karma, to be fair. So yes, I did paint 2 armies in 2 days, and I recorded that. So let's see how I did that. Whenever I'm working on a project like this, the chief brief to success is getting it just done on time. Everything goes out the window, and with a box this big, 2 days isn't much time, so we're going to use a fair few dirty tricks to get them done and hopefully leave an afternoon free for the basing. We're starting with a Zenithal Prime with white ink. Normally this would serve as a light value guide, however in this case it's absolutely literally just our light values. We use ink for flow and transparency so that I can still bring the edges to full white later on. I did lose a chunk of footage here somehow, or I just didn't film it. To be honest, I was in panic mode with multiple of the jobs on, so I just crushed through the load that I needed to do. Only other thing of note is that I used my usual dark aluminium and gloss null nile on the grey metal areas, along with inks and oil washes for the skin, and colour shift paint on their armour, with another null nile gloss wash over the top. And for the Marines, they got a very thin oil wash, just to ease those gradients and fill the recesses, along with some edging and dry brushing on the corners with white. Onto the bases, I wanted to go full urban with them to match my cityscape. Usually when I see urban tarmac bases, it's torn cork plonked in the middle of the base like a weird island of tarmac just chilling there. Doesn't really make much sense for every model to be on their own little island of asphalt, so we took a little extra time to trim the bases flush. For painting, black base coat, lots and lots of stippling with grey. And I found the thing that worked best was to stipple in straight lines with your grey colours. This gives the illusion of it being part of a longer length of road that way. and it helps with the straight and brightly coloured road markings that we're going to put on later. And that, despite missing footage, is how I just chewed this shit out in 2 days.
What's up guys, Tony D here, slapping dicks and making quips, and I'm here locked and loaded behind a desk to talk to you today about son of a bitch. Hey you, get out of here. D-Dog, what the fuck is this? What is it? Come near me with an anal probe, you big-eyed bastard, and I'll lay the fuck smack on you. Quit it!
The best to you.
So, I've got 2 armies. I've got a free rules set in the ether over there. I've got a branded tape measure. Very cool. I've got some dice. Loads of weird dice. Loads of different sided dice. And I have, whatever the fuck those are. Planetary conditions and effector decks, which we will get into in a bit. That's what those are. Everything here is included in the basic set for the War on Terror Kickstarter, which goes live now. 4 days ago, in fact. 4 days ago. Alright, mate. Yeah. No, everything's absolutely completely fine. I just completely fucked it. Yeah, no, I mean, I thought you meant May the 1st, 2024. This game is based on a brand new system, which, having played a few games, and by a few I mean 2, I think it's a little bit familiar, but it also has some fresh elements. The game currently has 4 playable factions: the Humans, the Greys, the Tanners, and the Haraka. Set 300 years in the future with 100 map planets and 29 star systems, which does tie into the core mechanics with a planet deck that features in play and generates a planet, environment, and terrain and playing conditions. Already this is, my kind of game. With just a little stack of cards, you can just look through it a few weeks before the game comes along and say, oh, I'm not going to make some stall wins. I'll just bring a fan for that. Static hampering, I'll bring a cattle prod and a bucket of water. But little things that give you an idea of, the environment that you're actually playing in. And another benefit of it is that, since it's semi-contemporary modern stuff, you can use modern or urban apocalypse scenery sets. You can use lo-fi sci-fi scenery, which, again, is stuff I've been making for my Stargrave stuff. And because it's not over-stylized to fuck, you can just get away with using quite a lot of different things. I think the first game I played of this was with the Battle Systems Fantasy Village. And no one cried. Once your environment is set up, you got to bring an army to the table. And what do you need in your army? Whatever the fuck you want, Flower. And by that I mean there's no restrictions on unit types that you can take. The amount of them. You can have like 3 of this guy. You can have just all of these Tester Marines. I mean, some of those are Tester Marines. Just have a wall of grey aliens, or just a fleet of drones, or any combination of the aforementioned. So none of this, you need a HQ, you need a front line, you need a fast attack, you need a warlord unit or whatever. No, what I want to do is just bring tanks, which is great because my mum always said, if you can take 2 tanks instead of 1, take 2 tanks. Note for clarity, the starter box includes 1 tank. However, I like the tank so much in all its Halo tank goodness that I asked for another one. Once your forces are deployed, roll for priority. Winner draws a planetary effect, and then the second phase kicks in with the effector cards. Our human effector is the Nanobot Preceptor. Don't really know what that means, so we're going to call him Drone License Michael. And our grey effector is this Disco Ball Mobile Disco guy. We're going to call him Disco Dave's Mobile Portable Disco. At the start of any turn, provided the effector is alive, you draw a card, which can be a misfire, failure, or a success. And upon a success, they can do some unique, funky abilities, like send out drones, plant mines, teleport friendlies, or repair vehicles, and with the volume of stuff they can do dictated by the number on the card. Another thing that I do like is that this is a game system kind of similar to Stargrave in that you're not necessarily going to lose before you've got your models on the table. With this, with the effectors, with the planetary conditions, this adds an element of chance to every turn that I really quite like, and whether I'm winning or succeeding in a game is generally how I deal with the conditions that are put to me, rather than me just looking at stat sheets and trying to figure out what I'm doing with any of this. Yeah, you can bring the most meta list that you want today, however I did bring 5 tanks, and on the planetary effect draw card, your leader just got hit by lightning. Let's play. So the next phases that come after this are a little bit more familiar. Player 1 moves. Player 2 moves. Player 1 shoots. Player 2 shoots. Player 1 close combat. Player 2 close combat. And the movement phase is... well, it's a fucking movement phase, isn't it? Onto the ballistic phase. I can already feel some clenched anuses at the mere sight of this thing. However, I can assure you, it's not as bad as it looks. Trust me, when I opened the box for the first time and I saw this on top, the clench was real. But it's actually completely fine. I've managed to get my head around it. You guys that know me know that I'm a pictures on dice kind of guy. A whichever dice roll is highest wins kind of guy. And most importantly, a roll to move kind of guy. Definitely on a Monday morning, I'm a roll to move kind of guy. Okay, so let's have a quick look at this and give you an example. Here we take the Grey Alien's ballistic value, look at the weapon's power, and add the 2 numbers, which takes us up to a total of 12. 12 is good. Comparing against the Tesla Marine armor of 6, the Grey needs to make a roll of 12 to make a hit. The Marine's save value is 10 plus, which means there's a good chance these guys are going to get chewed up pretty fast amundo. So your regular Marines, shock horror, are a little bit on the squishy side, which means using terrain, cover and specialist units like the 2 tanks or drones really can swing the game. I keep mentioning the tank, but this thing really is a centerpiece of an army. It's got big sit the fuck down, shut up and never talk to me or my son ever again energy. And because of a big emphasis on big important specialist units and their strategic and tactical value, every faction does play pretty differently, I would say. I haven't even mentioned the fucking flying saucer. And there are way more units waiting to get unleashed. Initially as part of the Kickstarter and then as a full retail product, which I am very excited for, or I hear talk of 100 plus models ready to go and or in the development stages. Holy shit. Hi mate. Yeah, me again. I've just noticed you've got a giant walking tank smashy knife arm thing. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, why don't I have that? What the fuck is Whack-A-Zenon? It's Whack-A-Mole with aliens. And yes, last thing of note is that these are 3D printed, which isn't really an issue for me. I know that these demo kits that have been sent out to, not influencers, don't say influencers, content creators, are done on prosumer gear, which is basically high-end consumer stuff you can get off a shelf, no problem. But on a successful Kickstarter, I believe they're going to get some industrial, real high-quality machines, and some of the stuff is even going to go to resin casting. I'm all for 3D printed stuff like this because it kind of makes it way more accessible to smaller companies to just get started, get the ball rolling, and eventually move into resin and plastic. Of course, if you are interested in how resin and plastic miniatures are made, I do have some videos coming up with our friends over at Warcradle, where we looked at how resin miniatures are made and plastic miniatures are made everywhere from CAD's development to master molding, master casts, and I even got to cast my own miniatures, which was, I mean, I broke something. I did break something very important, but that's okay. So I think that's it. That's nearing the end of my script, worryingly. What a weird video this is. I kind of just opened the box, painted what was in the box, told you how the rules in the game worked, and then I made and then realised I needed to make an actual full video. And I think, despite what I said earlier, I have just actually done a really elaborate and convoluted unboxing video. Oh, I definitely have not got my groove back. It's been a weird few weeks. Last week I was working a post-audio job for Paramount, and I haven't really done a serious post-audio job in about 2 years, but that came out of nowhere. That was awesome and weird. And this week...
What's up, man, movers and shakers? I'm Dave, and this is Warhammer Fest.
This week is just really weird. Do me a favour and check out the War on Terror Kickstarter, and if you want to know more about the game, head over to our friends at the Painting Phase for an interview with AWA Games, and also head on over to Tom's Tabletop Bunker to see how the game is played. Thanks to Alex and Will for chucking me a chunk of changa, and for sending me this absolutely fucking awesome box. And of course, a massive, big, end-boss level thank you to my wonderful Patreon community who continues to grow, support each other, and also support me, keep the lights on round here so that I can... Cheers very much, thank you guys. I'm out of here.